Okay. Chapter 10 is another chapter like Chapter 8 that does not have a company data file. Therefore, you will be creating from scratch this one. It's going to be a little bit bigger company, a little bit more work in this chapter. But again, a lot of it is bringing together what you know. So again, you're going to have to go to create a new company. Okay? And you're going to pick a detailed start. So I'm at page 10.6 where it's saying set up with the company name. Again, I'm not going to walk you through this. I think that you just have to follow step by step. Make sure you pick the right industry, which will be a retail shop or online commerce. Okay. This time the type of organization is going to be an S corporation. So again, making sure you're just answering each one of those questions as it's clearly stated in the chapter. One other thing I want to mention about this chapter, though, right here from the beginning, in case you don't watch this whole video, and that is you're only going to do the work in the chapter for paint palette. Okay, this is one chapter where you don't have any exercises at the end. If you were to do exercise 10.1, that's a whole new company of Brittany Jean's. I do not want you recreating a whole separate company. So please remember that this is the only chapter, but you do just the in-work chapter for chapter 10. Just doing the work for paint palette. Okay, this is assuming you've set everything up all the way through page 10.7 where it says use recommended accounts. Okay, I hope you've got the right date going and you follow the instruction. Where it says bank account name, this is where you add your bank accounts, add the name checking, okay, account number, and just follow again what has been given in the book to you. Okay, and 0 opening balance. But you do put the opening balance date as of the January 1st, 2021. After you add your bank account, of course, it might ask you to want to order checks. Just say no thanks and continue on. And then you can hit start working as it says in step 3 on page 10.7. Okay. You will then customize your QuickBooks as you know, just follow the preference tab as it says on the book, on top here. One thing you've probably noticed as you customize QuickBooks, there are a lot more preferences than you saw from the last time when you had to create a company from new. So again, make sure you follow each of the steps that it tells you to do. Then you need to start creating your customer list. Okay, on page 10.9. You should remember a lot of this, I'm clearing this out, is stuff you learned earlier. So we're going to have to create a new customer. Okay, and you just start as we've done in a previous chapter. Watch the spelling. I'm walking through one of these with you. Okay, she has an opening balance of 0 for Katrina. Again, we have to make sure our date is the 1/1/20. Oops, I was trying to do it the quick way. 2021. Okay. Okay, we can put Mrs. Her first name is Katrina. And officio. Okay. I've entered all her information here, so you didn't have to follow me do that. Then you're going to go to the payment terms and her account number, which is 3001. And again, follow the payment terms that they ask you to input. Sales tax settings, tax code, state tax, and then additional information. She will be residential. Oh, we might have to add new if the customer type is not there. So customer type residential. All right. And hit OK. And then any job info, job description, no. We might add new as far as going back to additional information, defined fields. That's what we wanted to do here. And we're going to put special interest. Use for a customer and hit OK. You've activated this, and her special interest is Italian. and then we can hit OK there. So now we have her set up. I didn't finish her job information. I better go to her job and put that in. I forgot job info. I jumped ahead. And I know y'all sometimes can do that too. So once we do that, we'll have to set up her job info. And its job description is going to be the custom paint. And as you can see, I had to go in and I added the new job type and the awarded status. And I think I misspelled custom there. So I'd have to go in and edit that. So be careful on your spelling. And then we can hit OK. Then we have another customer we want to enter, which is Decor Center, Rock Castle, Cara Interiors. I am not going to show you how to enter customers. I think you know how to do this. The next thing would be, though, the vendors. So we have to go into the vendor center, and I'm going to jump ahead and we're going to show, again, just reminding you how to do a new vendor. And I'm going to start with Brewers Paint Supplies. And again, I didn't have you go through watching me type all this in, but we've got her information and address. Then we'll switch over to the payment settings, and her account number is 4001. Okay. And they have payment terms of net 30. Credit limit there is going to be 15,000. Okay. And then we're going to have tax settings where we have a vendor tax ID. We'll move to additional information, vendor type, and of course we'll add new as they ask us to do and put paint. And then hit OK. And now we've added. And then you will go on, you've got Hartsum Leasing again, and Shades of Santiago. Okay. So now I will do one item for you to create an item list for you. And again, you remember you did these in past things, so we're going to go, and I think I can make this bigger. Hopefully it stays just within the window. Okay, and if I right click item, we'll have a new item. Okay, inventory type, it's going to be inventory part. Okay, item name and number, paint base. Okay. Description, paint base, and I'm just following everything in here. Cost of goods sold 5,000. Income account will be over here where they have 40,600. Right. X asset account number 12,100. Okay. Quantity on hand right now is 0. As of, again, we need to make sure we got the right date. And so now we've put in this and we can hit OK. And we can move on to another one as they do the interior base and cut the different custom colors that they have. Okay. Now we're going to also create a sales tax item, which we have here, so you can click on there and hit edit item. And you can see what it says to enter the tax agency that we're going to do. I don't think it's in the drop down, so we have to add that. And that name will be the California State Board of Equalization. And I've added the vendor name and hit OK. Then they're going to ask you to go into Customize Chart of Accounts. I think that, again, this will be, if I close this up and you go into your list of chart of accounts, you know how to edit. You would right click on it, hit, well, if you need to put a new one, you'd hit new. If you need to edit one of these, you would hit edit the account, like they say to do the checking account, edit, okay, edit the account. And I guess what they want you to do here is put in the number, because there was no number. Oops, I put too many zeros. Save and close, and now you have a checking account. Some of the other ones they're going to ask you to add over the next. I forgot to show you entering the opening balance. So on the cash account, so I kind of opened that back up. It was 2,400. statement ending date again would be 01-01-2021 to make sure, and then we can hit OK, and then we can hit save and close. So now the opening balance does have 2,400. And as you go through and watch, some will have opening balances, some will not. Be sure you pick the right accounts, sub-accounts, descriptions, make sure everything is spelled right like they ask you to, or again, they'll get a little picky with the grader. After this, the next thing that's going to ask you to do, of course, is to go ahead. It talks a little bit about, like I said, entering the opening balances, exporting things to Excel. You want to take that opening balance equity account and move it to the capital stock account on like page 1024. Then you're going to get into recording purchase transactions. Okay. They're going to show you how to create the purchase order. Okay. Then we're going to talk about when you receive the items. Make sure you watch you receive. Just because you ordered, you may not receive all the numbers, so be careful to follow the step-by-step. What did you receive? Enter the bills. Make sure you mark it against inventory if need be. Once you go through that, you'll have several of your bills. Then it's going to move you into recording sales trends. Pay the bills. Don't pay the bills on page 1034. Record sales transactions. Again, pick the right customer. Make sure you pick the right job and the right any sub items that need to be picked. Once she pays you, Katrina pays you, or Kara pays you, don't forget, you also have to record the deposits. I don't know if they ask you to record. Yeah, they do ask you to record both the customers. Then you have adjusting entries. They tell you exactly how much you're supposed to be. You don't really have to calculate those. You debit depreciation expense and you credit accumulate depreciation against the appropriate asset account. Whether it's the paint mixing equipment, the store fixtures, the color match equipment. If for some reason you don't have an accumulated depreciation account there, you may have to set one up. Okay? So sometimes if these accounts are not there, you remember you start this company from scratch, add a new one. Okay? They're going to have the supplies on hand. So remember how to do your supplies adjusting entry. And then the interest entry where you debit interest expense and you credit interest payable. And then you export to your adjusted entries and your adjusted trial balance to Excel. Then you're going to print your reports and you will be done with chapter 10. So if you've got this for, like I said, this is it for chapter 10. Don't worry about the exercise. Good luck.